Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to It's Fine, the fine arts podcast for Broken Arrow Public Schools on the Arrow Vision Network. I'm your host, Adam J. Foreman, the Executive Director of Public Relations for the district. And today we have two very special guests, Kim Vento, the Director of the Performing Arts Center. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
And Scott Heberling, the Technical Director for the Performing Arts Center. Hi, Scott.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for being on here. We're going to discuss all things fine arts in the district. As you know, Broken Arrow Schools is a beacon for fine arts excellence, so many programs. And over the course of these podcasts, we're going to talk about a lot of them. But today we're going to focus on something really great and unique. And I'm going to turn it over to you. But what I want to do is give the world that's listening, the world, all 20 listeners, give you guys the yeah, we're casual here. We're having a great time.
It's fine.
It's fine. About a thing called the Penguin Project. So I'm going to start with you, Kim. Tell me in 90 seconds, what is the Penguin Project?
So the Penguin Project is a national program that was created by a doctor, a physician who actually it was a physician for special needs students. And on the side, he was big into community theater as just a hobby for himself. And he sat and thought, how could we bring these two worlds together and give opportunities to these kids to play roles on stage and get them involved in theater? And so he created the Penguin Project. It's a phenomenal program, and you can look it up online, penguinproject.org, and see where this all came from and where it was created, and videos on YouTube. So you can really educate yourself if you want to know more about it just from the basic side. But we were blessed this summer to have conversations with Clark Theater, who are actually hosting Penguin Projects and have for the last 6 years. This will be their 7th year in production. And just got to thinking, hey, I know you do this as a community theater outreach through their nonprofit, but would you ever consider partnering with a school district? And they said, actually, we feel like we're at a level where we're ready to do that. So in Broken Arrow Public Schools, there's about 2,000, a little over 2,000 students that are special needs students.
Really? 2,000?
Yeah.
That's pretty,
about 2,200.
That's pretty big considering our total population is about 19.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it's all ranges of disabilities. So if you in your mind have the specific look, what a disability looks like, it's probably not as wide a variety as what there is, as what we can consider kids that just have the needs of that are a little more prolific than some other students.
So that covers more than just physical disabilities, but social and emotional issues. Is that considered part of that as well?
Absolutely is. And so, there is no definition as far as a specific level of disability that a kid has. It's anyone who is who wants to be a part of this program at whatever level of need they have can be a part of it from age 8 to 22. And so that the Penguin Project, going back to where that came from, the Clark Theater, it was 7th in the nation to be what I would say certified or application accepted to actually host a Penguin Project. And now there's around 45 in the nation, 3 in Oklahoma. So Clark Theater's one, there's one in Tahlequah, and I believe there's one in the Oklahoma City area. So we're really lucky that Clark Theater has partnered with us, Broken Arrow Public Schools and the Broken Arrow Performing Arts Center, to host this amazing opportunity for our kids.
So Scott, break down for me. I'm a parent. I walk in with my special needs student, be a part of this project. What are they going to do when they walk in a room and they're like, all right, here's the Penguin Project? How do they participate?
The parent or the kid?
The student.
The student.
Yeah.
Okay, the student.
I'm a special needs student.
Actually, it's interesting because right off the bat, they have the students working on things. We have a parent meeting or informational meeting, really for mentors or parents or anybody who wants to learn more, this Saturday and Monday. Even at that meeting, which is only an informational meeting, they pull aside the kids away from the meeting and immediately start teaching them choreography and a song. And within a half hour, of just having those kids working together and working with their mentors, they come out a half hour later. Choreography, singing, all of it right there. I mean, they immediately are put into the show. And they don't assign roles until they're into rehearsal for a while because they want to learn the kid and learn what their level is and learn what they're capable of and what they want. You know what I mean?
Right.
It has to do with really, listening to the kid as well as, pushing forward on a show. It as much has to do with them having the experience. I mean, in the arts, we're really looking for, and I think this is one of the reasons why we do what we do is, seeing those kids reach that transcendent moment, the one that is, just beyond your everyday. That's what we grasp for when we do art, right? We don't want to leave anyone behind in that. Everybody should have that opportunity, and this is their opportunity to transcend and to feel the power of art.
So the ultimate goal is for these kids to perform in production. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
Like
yes,
a
and
full
that-
scale
Seussical.
dramatic.
They will be doing Seussical Kids.
Seussical
Yes.
the musical.
Yes. So
wow.
that is the show for this year. And like I said, that's the
Wow.
end goal. But really, I think the journey is probably more important than the goal. But the goal will be achieved. They've done it, like I said, 6 times here. But overall, I can't remember the years on the actual national organization, but they've been doing this for years. And people think, how can they possibly, in the course of a couple of months, be able to do that? When even in casts that are not, don't have special needs, they have a problem pulling something together in 8 weeks.
Right.
And it's like, well, you know what? Kim has seen it firsthand. She's seen productions. Sally, who works in a box office, has seen it firsthand, and they are amazing productions. I mean, it's just, yeah, it is. It is amazing what they pull off in 8 to 10 weeks, but they do it.
In addition to the special needs kids that get to participate, you guys are also looking for mentors. Is that correct? To
Absolutely.
work with the kids?
Yeah.
So what are their role with the kids?
This phenomenal program has really come up with an all-encompassing plan to make this successful for our special needs students. And one of those important roles is having peer mentors with them. Peer mentors are students that they partner with our special needs students who really walk the entire journey with them through the production. So they'll be on stage, and so if a student gets X role and are dressed in this costume, well, their peer mentor is as well, or something that mimics the idea of that costume and that role. But the peer mentor is really just a support system for the student. So if, let's say, there's a student in a wheelchair and they need help just getting from place A to place B on stage, the peer mentor might be the one that pushes them. Or maybe they need help on a line, and so they'll reach over and whisper real quick to cue them on a line. Or maybe they have trouble picking up a tray. The peer mentor will be there to help them through the entire production. And sometimes our students are really capable of handling these roles without a peer mentor. So the peer mentor might be off stage to help them do a costume, switch or take a jacket off or something like that. So it really is at the level that the student on stage, the artist is what we call them.
Oh, that's cute.
Needs.
I like that.
Our artist needs and just support. And the initial meeting of the kids is great, but what we have heard and found through our talks with Clark Theater is that these kids become lifelong friends and develop relationships that they
man.
wouldn't have
Right.
if they hadn't met because of the project. So that's the even more maybe heartfelt part of this that I see value in, is that we're making connections not only with our students, our artists, essentially with their peer mentors, but also those families behind the scenes. They come to the rehearsals, the parents come, they meet other parents, with kids that they've maybe never been around, and that creates a family and a community around the Penguin Project year after year after year. So this is our initial year. This is when this will all start, but we're hoping down the road to do this every year. And we just create this amazing community involved event that brings people and relationships and a production that these kids wouldn't have been able to ever probably be a part of or been addressed in a social way with other people as a performer on stage, that is life changing, and that just continues.
So these kids, these special education kids, do the whole gambit. They dance, they sing, they do lines.
All of it.
Oh, yeah,
There's
absolutely.
no stone left unturned,
That's right.
and they're held accountable to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, because it's almost like Special Olympics, how they do the sports there, and
Oh, yeah.
they're held accountable to all that stuff as well. Just giving them that all-inclusive feeling, which is so important.
Well, and it's amazing too. I think we treat that population a lot of time like and yes, they do need some extra help occasionally, but you don't know what someone can do or what challenge they will rise to until you put a challenge in front of them.
Absolutely.
And that's what this does.
Yeah.
As you put it, it holds them accountable. Yeah, you show up to rehearsal and you do your work just like any other cast would. So
I do have a story, and this is kind of
I love a good story.
humbling when I went through this experience. But I actually went to watch the Penguin Project through Clark Theater this summer, and they didn't do a full production because of COVID, but they did do what they called a review. So they did short snippets of the last 5 shows they've done. So as I'm sitting there watching, there's an artist on stage, and he was a Down syndrome student. And he was dancing and singing and doing, all of his moves and stuff. His peer mentor was beside him. And I said, oh my gosh. And having had a cousin with Down syndrome, I've grown up knowing about Down syndrome and what those students are about and how loving they are. And they really love to perform, most of them, not trying to characterize Down syndrome as that. But in my experience with special needs students, I've seen that. They love to be the limelight and fun, and they're loving. But anyway, so he was up dancing, and I thought, wow, they got this kid on stage, and he's standing there, and he's participating, and he had a shield on, and he'd lift that shield up to look at the audience like he couldn't see him. It was the cutest thing ever. So anyway, enjoyed that experience and just loved watching him. Fell in love with him. Don't even know what his name was or who he was. And so then later on in the production, all of a sudden they're starting to do the Lion King. And I watch him walk up on stage to the front, and I'll be doggone if he didn't have a major role in that production. So the warthog and then the little mouse.
Timon and Pumbaa?
Yes.
He was
Timon.
I
was
think.
Timon.
I don't think he's a mouse.
And
He's like a meerkat, I think. A meerkat. I
Okay.
think is what he
So
was.
anyway, he was cute, whatever he
What
was.
movie did you watch?
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry
you're in the
cartoon, apparently.
theater? Anyway, so he walks up there and he starts singing the song, and he sings every word, does every motion, says the interludes and the talking parts. And I totally was in shock because I guess I had assumed that all this kiddo could do, and it was a big achievement that he stood up and danced and sang with
He proved
the
you
chorus.
wrong, didn't he?
I mean, I think we underestimate this population
And
a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make is I sat in that theater and started to cry because of the fact I was so moved by his abilities and him even being just have the guts to walk up and do that in front of all those people.
I know a lot of people who couldn't do that under
No.
any regular normal circumstances. They couldn't do that.
I just started bawling. I cried 3 times during that production. I did not know these kids. I've never seen them before. And afterwards, I was able to talk with a lot of parents that have had their kids in the Penguin Project. And I can't tell you how many of them said that the relationships with their peer mentors and the relationships the parents got to grow from the Penguin projects they'd been involved in were life-changing.
Oh, yeah. It has to be.
So I think that, after watching that, it even validated the idea of us bringing this to our kids in Broken Arrow to a higher level of we've got to do this.
So you guys are taking this on for the first time. What are some things that you and Scott have discussed that you guys need to prepare for or need, or you need the community to do? Because, it takes a village for everything. And this doesn't even take a whole village. It takes like an entire metroplex because there's so many moving parts. I know. Don't you love my metaphors?
Yeah, right.
So what are some things that you guys have looked at? Like, okay, we need to put this in place, or this is this, so we can have the best Penguin project ever.
Well, what's interesting is actually the biggest thing being the first year is the simplest one, which is we just need involvement and from all corners. You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
We want teachers to be involved. You know what I mean? And the teachers being excited about it, especially the SPED teachers, means the kids are going to be excited about it. The kids being excited about it means they want to participate. They want to get in there. They want to do this thing. They need to understand. It's like we were just talking about. They understand they can do it. You know what I mean? I think, and may not even be the kids. I think parents are often hesitant, to put their kids in a position in which the kids may, well, we just don't know if they can do it. And we can guarantee you they can. And
Right.
for us, I mean, for us, this whole thing, that's the biggest part of it. And yes, we do want sponsors. Yes, we want people to be involved, financially and really make this big. But at the end of the day, it's getting people excited about it. And then, it's not only about that kind of involvement. So we get the kids, we get the mentors, we have hopefully all of our teachers and our administrators getting word out there, helping us find these people who want to do this thing. But then if you're just belong to this community, you need to come see this show. You know what I mean? That's the biggest support and sponsorship we can have, is showing up and showing these kids how much we love them and love what they are doing.
So they're starting this process very soon, right? With the whole orientation, and then rehearsals will probably start in October-ish?
October 4th.
And then
October
the show
4th.
is in January? Is that
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
January 14th, 15th, and 16th.
So
the
3 performances.
14th will be in the evening starting at 7:30. And then January 16th, we're doing a matinee at 2:00. That's a Sunday. So 3 opportunities to come watch it. And I'm telling you, you don't have to know these students. You don't have to know these parents. You don't have to know what the Penguin Project is. But I will guarantee that when you walk out, you'll be changed.
And they're going to be doing Seussical, which is written by the guys who wrote a lot of Disney goodness. Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, of course, the classic Broadway Little Shop of Horrors, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest shows ever
Love it.
in Broadway history. So these kids are actually learning classics, or learning they're singing Alan Menken. They're not
Alan
just
Menken,
doing a play that a 4th grade teacher wrote. This is not to demean any 4th grade teachers, but this is something that a big deal for them.
Yeah.
And to see those characters too that I'm sure they're very familiar with probably makes that connection even greater for them.
Yeah.
We have a kid working with, we hope he's going to be a part of this. So we have a kid working for us right now. He does, he's part of a program in which they come and they do work with different sites and that kind of thing. And he's special needs. And I approached him the other day because he really, to put it in a way, can't shut up about Trek. So, so I'm gonna guess the kid loves music. I'm so hoping he's
There's
gonna be part
lots
of
of
this. I know,
music
right?
in Shrek,
And so I asked the kid, and this is just one of these funny side stories. So I asked the kid, I said, "Hey, you've heard of Seussical, right?" He goes, "Oh, Seussical. Yeah." He says, "That's the musical based on the Dr. Seuss stuff." I said, "Yes, it is." And he goes, "What role would I play?" And so I said to him, I really don't know. I said, you're going to have to come and you're going to have to do it. And he goes, "Well, I'll have you know, I can do Danny DeVito doing the Lorax."
The Lorax,
and
yes.
then he whips, and his kid suddenly becomes a whole different person and starts telling me, "I'm here for the trees. I'm here for the trees." So I'm hoping this kid,
He better audition.
oh, by God, he'd better audition. It was it's the best thing I've ever seen.
I'm surprised he didn't want to play thing 1 and 2. I can do both.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
can
yeah.
Just watch me. I will do both.
Yeah, what he's talking about is we have a job coaching program through Broken Arrow Public Schools where we have a wonderful job coach. Denise Hurd is her name, and she takes kids out to sites to experience different workplaces, and then at the end makes suggestions on where they might be great in the workforce. And so we have these 3 kids that are coming to the theater every Wednesday, and we love them. And we've only seen them maybe 3 times so far, but they are a hoot.
So they're like interns, basically.
They're essentially interns, and so we even without the Penguin Project, we want these kids to be involved with what we do. This is just another way that we have students that come as interns that are with the high school career pathways program. Well, then we also have our 3 kiddos with the job coaching program, and they're all 6 coming to the theater for those reasons. So there's all different kinds of ways the school district is phenomenal in giving experiences to our student population, whether they're special needs kids or not. But this is just unique. And the other thing that I think is so amazing is that, there is no other school district that Clark Theater's partnered with here in the
I was
Tulsa
going to ask
Metro.
you that, actually.
So this is the first time with a school district that Clark has partnered with anyone outside of their community theater to do this. So
And they're Tulsa based, is that correct?
they're in Tulsa, yeah, they are. And phenomenal youth community program. So, Another thing that might happen is that once they're part of this and they're introduced to Clark Theater, even some of our peer mentors might go over and be in some of the productions they have there, or our kids with special needs may decide they want to do another Penguin project and do it at Clark Theater at another time during the year. So
They'll get the bug after
yeah,
that and
yeah,
want to go keep doing that.
I really think so.
What are some things that our fine arts community here can do to help support this, and what are things you're needing from various organizations?
I was going to mention, and this partly answers your question, but it also springs off of what Kim was saying. In conversations with Tammy Slack with Clark Theater, who's our rep from over there. The teachers, a lot of the teachers have already asked me how they can be involved or what they can do and whatever. And Tammy has an idea that over time, over the next couple of years, they will do less and less. They would like to train our people, you know what I mean, in the proper manner to take over the program. So these teachers, if they start now, can start learning the process, learning how it works, you know what I mean, become part of it. And I think that's what, in the back of the question, or behind the question, that's really what they're thinking is how do I get to teach this, you know what I mean? And by doing, by showing up. So I think that's kind of the answer. We'd really like to see our teachers, those who have available time, of course, and fine arts is very, very busy, but be a part of it, and physically as well as not just word of mouth or support or recruitment. But yeah, come on down, whatever you can, learn how to do it yourself. Be a part of creating this piece.
Yeah, building it from the ground up on our end, even though it's already an established program, it's new to us.
Yeah, and
Yes.
the established program is really well thought through. It's not just, hey, we're going to do a Penguin project and here's some shows you can do and a name that you can put on it. And it really is dissected for success. In other words, an example. So the rehearsal schedule, we do several rehearsals, but they're for short time spans. So every rehearsal is only an hour and 15 minutes. We will do those on site, either the Kirkland Theater or the Performing Arts Center. They'll be right here in Broken Arrow. But for example, on Tech Week, the first day, the students are on stage, maybe they'll add some lighting. The second day, they may add a piece of costuming, but just one or two pieces, not the whole thing. Then the third day, maybe they'll add the whole costume, and maybe they'll do just a wee bit of makeup on them.
Is that on purpose?
Yes,
Is that to kind of
it's a gradual, because there's all different uncomfortable moments for some special needs kids if there's change.
Oh yeah.
And so
Well,
it's
anybody.
yeah.
No, a lot of people don't like
but
change.
especially the process is especially made to where things are very gradual. So we don't just one day all of a sudden turn the lights out in the theater, it's black, and you're hearing music, and then all of a sudden these bright lights come on.
And then Scott appears as Cat in the Hat, and that's the end of it.
So things are done in a way that make the process gradual for comfort, so that nothing is surprising and nothing is just, it's one way one day and completely different the other. So the process behind the Penguin Project is a process, and it's followed. And the way that you are able to initiate the Penguin Project with your nonprofit and be, what I would say, it's not really a certification, but approved to do it as a Penguin Project partner.
Say that 3 times
Penguin
fast.
Project partner is that you have gone through and understand how this is initiated for the success of the kids. And another thing that I love is that Dr. Andy, that's what we call him, who created the Penguin Project, actually will make the trips to come see these productions.
Really?
So
fantastic.
I've actually gotten to meet him. He was here in Tulsa a few years ago, and honestly, I just heard about the Penguin Project, so I didn't know a lot about it. And this is Dr. Andy, and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. Well, now I feel like he's in my world,
It's like royalty.
superstar.
Yeah.
And so I hope I have that opportunity again. But Tammy did say it's very, very possible that Dr. Andy will come and watch our Penguin Project because he's so excited. We're excited that it's in the Christian Chenoweth Theater. But, one of the things that we, like Scott said, the community, we don't want this just to be Broken Arrow Public Schools, that their mom and dad we want this to be a community event. We want this to be something that people in our community come to support these kids. And again, I really feel like they won't even know that when they walk in, when they leave, they'll be different and they'll be moved. They'll be moved by what we do here.
And I think that's the overall point of it, is to be changed by something. And art is supposed to change you. It's supposed to completely change you. So we're wrapping up. Let's look at important dates. I know this podcast may air. Why are we also dry today? My goodness. They took all the moisture out of the studio. This may air after your parent meetings, but they can still get involved after the fact, right? They don't have to come there. So what are some contact information for our listeners if they want to get involved after they hear about this wonderful project?
So it is on multiple websites. You can go to brokenarrowpac.com, and right on the front page, it'll have a link for you to learn about the Penguin Project, but then also links for mentors and our artists to sign up to be a part of this, which is the way we'll be able to communicate directly to them. Also, you can go to Broken Arrow Public Schools, baschools.org. It's on the front page of that as well. So information is there to tell you about the program, also the links to sign up. If you have any questions on those documents, there's also numbers you can call. Of course, you can call the PAC at any time, and they'll either send you to Scott or I.
And what is that number, by the way?
918-259-5778. Also, you can buy tickets to our shows if you're interested in Spotlight Series
That's
this
right.
year.
Yeah, nice plug.
Another Fine Arts Friday we could talk about down the road, but really the information is everywhere. So if you just go to one of those sites or the other, or give us a call, we will totally hook you up in the arena of how you want to be part of this program.
Awesome. All right, Scott, 20 seconds. What do you hope that this will accomplish in Broken Arrow schools and the Broken Arrow community in 20 seconds or less? Go.
I hope this, actually, what I hope this does is it begins an ongoing project that Kim and I have been working on, which is to make sure arts availability is for everyone. We've been working on other projects. This is one of a few. We were working with the Vanguard Academy and some kids that aren't normally, also kind of like the SPED students, aren't normally in our PAC, and trying to give them outlets and projects to do that we can offer space and we can offer support for them to creatively express themselves.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Vento, same question, same time frame.
You know, I've always said that the theater can really be anything. We've been everything from a church to a funeral home to a COVID testing site to a vaccination site to, of course, our youth programs that we do. But, we're starting into esports. That's another thing we've never done, esports competition. So our gamers are coming in and going to be in the theater. The arts are for anyone and everyone, and the theater is there to host and show. What I tell my family, I said, I have a job that celebrates whatever we're doing, whether it's, celebrating the life of someone, celebrating a marriage, celebrating, the performances of students. But when we can touch and reach people who usually aren't exposed to the arts or have the outlets to be on stage and be celebrated. That's what it's about. When you're on stage and you have an audience, there's a celebration of some sort.
And it's reciprocal.
Yeah. Of course. And it is live. It's not on a phone. It's not social media. It's direct connection, which we miss so much of now because we're so online, that the theater is still a habitation for connection and live interaction with each other. So that's what we're hoping. I mean, the Penguin Project, if we can get people involved this first year, that's kind of our goal. Is we're just hoping people hear about this and sign up and just walk in the door. I think if they walk in the door and learn about it, they'll know. And if you aren't there October 4th, it's not too late to get involved. So please don't think just because we started and then you hear about it later that you can't come and get in it.
Right.
We'll spend several weeks of just learning the kids. And so it's not too late if you're, coming in the middle of October and saying, I just heard about this. Can we be involved? Yes, you can. just give us a call or find out the information and we will get you involved.
Well, we'll put all the contact information in the description below on this because it'll live on several places, podcast networks, YouTube, etc., and drive all traffic to you guys. So thank you so much for being here today, Kim Vinto.
Thanks, Adam.
And Scott Heberling.
It was awesome.
From the Broken Arrow PAC. I'm Adam Foreman. Thank you for It's Fine, the Fine Arts Podcast for Broken Arrow Public Schools. I know, it's a great title, isn't it?
Yes,
It's fine. It's fine. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.